The RX 7600 is rumored to be AMD's next mid-range GPU based on the RDNA3 architecture and manufactured in 6 nanometers. This card is expected to launch by the end of May 2023 and compete with NVIDIA's RTX 4060 in the 1080p gaming segment. According to some leaks, the RX 7600 will feature 32 compute units, 1792 unified shaders, and 8GB of GDDR6 memory on a 128-bit bus. The card will also support ray tracing and other advanced features of the RDNA3 architecture, such as Infinity Cache and Smart Access Memory. The RX 7600 is said to perform at least 11% better than the RX 6650 XT, which is already a solid 1080p card. Some sources claim the RX 7600 can reach boost clocks above 2.6 GHz and draw around 175 watts of power, making it more efficient than the RX 6650 XT. The RX 7600 could be a great value proposition for gamers who are looking for a significant upgrade from their older GTX or RX 500 series cards. The card could also offer a lower price point than the RTX 4060, which is expected to cost around $400. The RX 7600 could launch with an MSRP of around $329, which would make it very competitive in the market. The RX 7600 could be AMD's chance to secure its legacy of affordable greatness and capture a large segment of the mid-range market that has been starved for a quality GPU upgrade for years. The card could also put some pressure on NVIDIA to lower its prices or improve its performance in this segment. The RX 7600 is one of the most anticipated graphics cards of this year, and we can't wait to see how it performs in real-world scenarios. Stay tuned for more updates on this exciting product from AMD. One of the most anticipated features of the AMD Radeon RX 7600 is its specifications. The RX 7600 is expected to have 32 compute units, 2048 stream processors, 8GB of GDDR6 memory, and 32 MB of Infinity Cache. These numbers may not sound impressive compared to the higher-end models like the RX 6800 or the RX 6900, but they are more than enough for a mid-range GPU that targets 1080p and 1440p gaming. The compute units are the basic building blocks of the Radeon architecture, and they are responsible for executing various tasks such as shading, geometry, and ray tracing. The RX 7600 has half the number of compute units as the RX 6800, which means it will have less raw performance and ray tracing capabilities. However, it will also have lower power consumption and heat output, making it more suitable for smaller and quieter systems. The stream processors are the individual cores within each compute unit that perform the actual calculations. The RX 7600 has the same number of stream processors as the RX 6700 XT, which is a good sign for its performance. The stream processors are clocked at a base frequency of 1.8 GHz and a boost frequency of 2.3 GHz, which is slightly lower than the RX 6700 XT's frequencies of 2.3 GHz and 2.6 GHz respectively. The lower clock speeds are likely due to the lower power budget and thermal limits of the RX 7600. The memory is another important factor for a GPU's performance, especially when dealing with high-resolution textures and complex scenes. The RX 7600 has 8GB of GDDR6 memory, which is the same amount as the RX 6700 XT and the RX 6800. The memory is connected to a 128-bit bus, which is half the width of the RX 6700 XT's and RX 6800's buses. This means that the RX 7600 will have less memory bandwidth than its higher-end counterparts, which could limit its performance in some scenarios. However, the RX 7600 has a secret weapon to compensate for its narrow memory bus: the Infinity Cache. The Infinity Cache is a large and fast cache that sits between the GPU core and the memory, and it can store frequently accessed data to reduce the need for accessing the slower memory. The Infinity Cache can effectively increase the memory bandwidth by up to 3 times, according to AMD. The RX 7600 has 32 MB of infinity cache, which is half the amount of the RX 6700 XT and RX 6800, but still enough to make a significant difference. The infinity cache is one of the reasons why AMD was able to achieve such high performance with relatively low power consumption in its Radeon RX 6000 series GPUs. The RX 7600 is no exception, as it has a rated total board power of only 160 watts, which is much lower than the RX 6700 XT's and RX 6800's power ratings of 230 watts and 250 watts respectively. The lower power consumption means that the RX 7600 will require less cooling and less power supply headroom, making it more compatible with a wider range of systems. The AMD Radeon RX 7600 is shaping up to be an excellent mid-range GPU that can deliver great performance for most gamers at a reasonable price. The RX 7600 is expected to have 32 compute units, 2048 stream processors, 8 GB of GDDR6 memory, and 32 MB of infinity cache. These specifications make it a formidable competitor in the crowded GPU market, and a worthy successor to the popular Radeon RX 5000 series GPUs. The RX 7600 is likely to launch by the end of May 2023 with a price of around $299 to $379, making it a competitive option for 1080p gaming. This is the mid-range GPU that many gamers have been waiting for, as it promises to deliver excellent performance at a reasonable cost. The RX 7600 is based on the RDNA3 architecture, which offers improved efficiency and scalability over the previous generation. It also features 8 GB of GDDR6 memory, 32 compute units, and a boost clock of up to 2.5 GHz. The RX 7600 is expected to compete with NVIDIA's RTX 3060 and RTX 3060 Ti, which are currently the most popular choices for 1080p gaming. However, the RX 7600 has some advantages over its rivals, such as support for AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution technology, which enhances image quality and performance without sacrificing much detail. The RX 7600 also supports ray tracing, variable rate shading, and DirectX 12 Ultimate features, making it future-proof for upcoming games. The RX 7600 is not only a great GPU for gaming, but also for content creation and streaming. It has a low power consumption of 150 W, which means it can run on most power supplies without any issues. It also has a sleek design and a dual fan cooler that keeps it cool and quiet under load. The RX 7600 is the perfect GPU for anyone who wants to enjoy high-quality gaming at 1080p without breaking the bank. It offers a balance of performance, features, and value that is hard to beat. If you are looking for a new GPU to upgrade your PC or build a new one, you should definitely consider the RX 7600 as your next purchase.